It's Hyperliquid on its watch as Hypes jumps over 10% from Sunday lows. I'm going to tell you, by the way, too, I just would not worry about these highs and lows, these movements. What you need to know is on a trajectory upward, and that is tended to follow revenue. So you see the correlation that I found is chains with revenue, with actual revenue, not just, oh, we're going to like explode in the future because there's going to be all this use case that supposedly is coming. Just you guys can't worry about that. You really can't. Let's see. Hyperliquid token rebounded more than 10%, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I don't really care about that. The recovery also comes after Citrini Research called Hyperliquid a compelling investment in its Monday Substack, citing the protocol's ability to generate meaningful cash flow while funding a large-scale buyback program. That's something, I mean, this is not news to you guys. Like, if you like Hyperliquid, you know that we've already talked about this. This is a big deal. Why? Because, first off, it actually has real platform activity, as it says. Actually, I'm skipping ahead. Sorry about that. But meaningful cash flow. In other words, yeah, it's actually making money. It's actually, and what does that mean? That means it actually has product market fit. That means people are actually using it such that it has meaningful revenue coming in. Usage matters. At this point in the crypto cycle, we're so far beyond this, oh, one day everyone's going to use it. No. At this point, show me the proof. We're so far into these layer ones, these alternative altcoin layer ones. If you don't have usage at this point, I just don't know that you're going to get it. I mean, maybe, but do you really want to bet on like a maybe? I mean, you can put a little money into a maybe, but I'd rather bet on something that actually is demonstrating product market fit at this point. So anyway, Citrini said Hype stands apart from much of the crypto market because it is backed by real platform activity. More than 90% of Hyperliquid's platform fees are redirected into its assistance fund, which is then used to buy Hype on the open market. Now, I hate to keep picking on Algorand, but it's the perfect example because right now, Algorand is selling tokens on the open market to fund its operations because it doesn't have enough revenue coming in. And it doesn't have enough revenue coming in because it's not really being used, plus the coin is tanked, and that certainly doesn't help either. But it's kind of a feedback loop in a way, because less usage means lower price means lower fees. It's not going in a good direction, and I think people should be concerned about that. On the other hand, Hype has actual revenue, which means it has product market fit. It means people are actually using it, and it's taking a lot of the token, like 90%, which is crazy. 90% of that is taken to buying the Hype token, which is taking supply off the market. Now, you guys know what I've said about supply. Like, it doesn't matter without demand, but when you have demand, then you limit supply. That's a huge multiplier. So this is what Citrini notices, and this is what I've been telling you, okay? So, I mean, I hate to say it, but Citrini kind of helped validate my thesis and helped validate Hyperliquid. Again, this is not a crypto firm. They don't focus on crypto. They very rarely talk about crypto. It's usually interesting for what it's saying about the world, to be honest. But let's continue here. The firm also pointed to the scale of the program, saying Hyperliquid repurchases have accounted for nearly half of all token buyback activity across crypto this year by some measures. That's a lot. That's crazy. So Citrini said Hyperliquid still has a wide runway and a significant market share left to capture. Yeah, in other words, there's more TAM left. TAM is a total addressable market, by the way. Hyperliquid has become one of the most closely watched decentralized perpetuals exchanges, with Hype benefiting from rising trading activity, fee-driven buybacks, and growing attention from institutional investors. Last week, Hype briefly overtook Solana in price, though Solana's market capitalization remains more than double Hype's. And, it's going to, because they're erasing coins off the market, which means the supply is going to decrease. This is what I'm telling you with market. You got to be careful with market cap. It's not always the best indicator, because if you have fewer tokens, eventually it might drive the price up, which will help it overcome